Good evening, cyber friends. It's Mitty Man coming at you again for Walk the Music. Yet another word for today. We give God all the praise and glory for life, health, and strength for as well as it is. We thank Him for as well as it is. Thank God for each and every one of you, the cyber friends. You know who you are. We also want to give a shout out to the Bible study. Thank God for each and every one of you. As you see, my title said here, "Right is just right, and that's just all." People, that was a saying that one of our older deacons from long years ago, Deacon Robert Kelly, used to always say, although he used to make that statement a lot. I remember as a little bitty boy, I used to go over to his house and his wife. He always kept a dark house. For some reason, it was always really dark. It wasn't a whole lot of light in his house, but that was the way he kept it. But and he would always say, "Right is just right." You'd be talking to a little bit of kids and around. He would give us a nickel or whatever, he'd give us a little money, go get us some of them penny wheel cookies. Those Johnny Roger cookies we called, you get 2 for a penny. Big old cookie too. And I used to go over there a lot of times. I used to go over there about 2 or 3 times a week because, see, really and truly, I'm going to tell y'all something that a lot of people don't know. My nickname is Cookie. Matter of fact, the man that owned the A&P store in Cuthbert years ago, his name Mr. Butler. He's the one that named me that because I love cookies. And matter of fact, when I was about 3, maybe 4 years old, my mom didn't even know where I was. I had went to town by myself, went to the A&P store to get me some cookies because I knew what the cookies were. And I know Mr. Butler was going to give me cookies, and that was my nickname to this day. But I don't let everybody know about it. But too bad for that now. It's out the bag now, especially if you get on YouTube and get on Facebook. It's over with. But yeah, that is my nickname, Cookie. And one other thing I want to say, Mr. Robert Kelly, you always say, right is just right, and that just all, period. In other words, he always put that and that just all on the end of what he said because he meant what he said. People, that's just the way I am to this very day. If I say something, I mean what I say. I try to say what I mean, and I definitely mean what I say. Now, I know a lot of people may not like that, because most people want to be able to handle you any kind of way. When they see that they cannot handle you any kind of way, they kind of put you over here, out of the way. But nevertheless, I want to say that if we are going to be effective in the kingdom of God, and if we're going to be effective in our local church, perhaps, and win souls to Christ, we got to stop being wishy-washy. You got to say what you mean and mean what you say. Now, I just want to say something. I'm not going to linger on this long. I'm going to speak it and I'm going to be done with it. I've heard a lot of little things that were said today when I made the announcement about the Pastor's Aid study. I heard about certain people that had certain little things to say, and I guess some of them thought it was comical. Well, Ernest's going to tell you one thing. Mitty Man, or whatever you want to call me. You want to call me Mitty Man, Cookie, or Ernest by my real name. You know, if you don't want to give, then you keep your $2. But don't try to poison other people and keep them from missing their blessing. In other words, there's something that you're never going to satisfy all the people none of the time. So you can forget about that. But I'm going to say this again. I am not so much worried about nothing what you think about me, what you say about me, because guess what? You don't even matter. It's what God already know about me that matters. So what we done today, we're going to continue to do it as long as the church allows it. We're going to be taking up Pastor's Aid study. On the second Sunday and fourth Sunday, the pastor will get what's in that jar. If it ain't the $5, he's going to get what's in that jar. I'm going to see to that because that is in my care. And those that want to give, you can either give it to me or you can put it in the jug, whichever one you want desire to do. But let the Lord lead you. And if you are not giving it from the heart, out of your love for the pastor and his wife, then don't give it all. Don't give. If you're not doing it from the heart, out of your love from the pastor and his wife, then don't give. Because it's not going to do you any good to give if you're giving it grudgingly. But what I've done, I've done. And those that don't like it, well, I'm sorry. We're going to pray for you. We love you still. But we're not worried about what you say. You can laugh, you can make fun, you can poke jokes and everything. But the pastor's still going to lead there on second and fourth second and fourth Sunday with something else besides his salary in his hand, as long as I'm living. That being said, it's Smitty Man saying whatever you get into. If God is not in it, best you get out of it. It's Smitty Man. Peace. Bye-bye.